So
Welcome
I was thinking,
back. Two guys from two worlds. This is the FlipSide. New episodes uploaded on YouTube every Wednesdays and Saturdays. Now, your hosts, Jay&Noel.
have you heard of Takeshi's Castle?
Takeshi's Castle. It sounds familiar. What is that?
Man, I'm sure you've heard of it back in
I'm
elementary.
sure I have.
Before you moved to the States, before you moved to the US.
Oh, this is that Japanese game. The family thingamajig where they're all like hurting each other all the time.
I was going through some really old files on my desktop because naghihingalo na naman tong computer ko. It's having a hard time. help me. I don't have any more storage space. So I was looking for large files that I could delete. And then I came across this folder that says KF stuff. It's like KF stuff. What stuff could KF have for computers? I mean, he was what, 5 years old when he had this, he was using this computer. Anyway, I came across some really old like Barney videos and some you know the stuff that we were talking about, like head, shoulders, knees and toes.
Right.
And then somewhere at the bottom I had something that was Takeshi's Castle.
Takeshi's Castle.
Let me know.
Dude, that is so OG.
I know, right? Let me know. Can you see this?
Yeah.
So I played the video and I was like, oh, we can talk about this on the podcast. Let me know if you could hear it or cannot hear it. Just I
can't hear it.
Trouble with the audio. Yeah. I haven't turned it on yet. But
okay.
Let's see what we got here. But do you remember it anytime at all?
I do. I actually, as soon as you mentioned it, it brought back this guy standing in front of a castle with a Napoleon sword.
That's right.
Yeah. And it brought me back to like late 80s, early 90s in the Philippines, basically,
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, good morning.
Oh, good morning.
If I'm not mistaken, I don't know what they did with it, but it looks like the franchise that moved to the UK or the US, it seems like they took out the Takeshi guy, or it seems like they took out the guy that was... What's the story about? It's like, I'm this rich kid that has a castle. You guys want to come over and have fun? Is that what it looks like?
No. Takeshi's Castle is like... those Japanese obstacle courses where people are like running around trying. Yeah, that's exactly what that is. Takeshi's Castle.
Right, but why is he dressed up as a?
It's just a character.
First,
it's like a Napoleon Dynamite, Napoleon complex type of thing.
Right, that's what I meant. So I got a party. You guys come over, and I'll give a million pesos or a million yen if you guys do the thing right. Anyway, so what I was trying to get at is, let me play the video first so we're all sort of on the same page here.
Right.
See if it
pops
Hold
up.
on. I can see that you can't hear it. Hold on a second. There's something...
You can see that I can't hear it? Okay, time out real quick. I can't hear you real quick. I got to take this call from my wife. When the wife calls, I got to answer it. Hi.
That white one is the one that somebody gifted to us from Japan. It's not it's not from Target.
Where is this from? Oh, this is from the Japanese store in Tyson's Corner.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I'm like looking at here. I'm like, what does she mean? Like, I can't see it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, I gotta go because I'm recording.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. All right, I can hear it.
Let's jump on the Milky Way and chew the cud over this lot. Coming up, we're losing our minds.
Yeah, I remember what is up with the British accent or the British guy that's doing it.
Show of hands.
I can't hear you. You're talking, but I can't hear you.
So get yourselves all in a lather and slip with me.
How's this?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Right. So they put like graphics in there that I don't understand. Like that.
Right.
But if I'm not mistaken, the Takeshi guy himself is not in the video anymore. They replaced him totally with the announcer. Oh, there.
Yeah, that's him.
Takeshi.
See?
Okay. So
he's got that Napoleon thing going on.
Right. So I'm mistaken. Anyway, what I was thinking was maybe we'll get more clicks if we just leave this playing on the side
Jesus Christ.
while we do the whole podcast.
We'll just have it on the side. Just shrink it like in a little box, and then people will like just watch that instead of listen to us. I
Right.
remember that right there.
Because you know how some guys do like a gameplay while they're talking or doing totally something different aside from the gameplay itself.
Right.
Just let the gameplay, just let Takeshi's Castle play on the side, and then they'll flag us down for copyright strike, and then we'll look for another video to put up there.
And then they're gonna just kick us out and whatnot, you know.
Yeah, this one was my favorite. I just wanted to share this one with you. They had to run across those rooms,
Yeah.
and then they
I
open the
remember
wrong
this
room and they
so
fall out.
well.
Mm,
And it's crazy how some people go on full speed and will just fly off the door into the water.
exactly. So I don't remember what my complaint was here, because when I was watching this and skimming through it, I was like, where is Takeshi? And
That
so it
was the
turns out-
complaint.
well, I was thinking that they did something to take out that changed the whole concept or what, but
Why would this be in KF's file to begin with?
because I downloaded it and then I
And then
showed it to him.
Okay. All right.
Oh
I
no,
was just
but
curious to find out.
yeah, all these files I downloaded because there's no such thing as like watching videos offline before. So you had to
Right.
download.
You got to download it. There's no streaming before. Plus, there was no YouTube before.
Oh no.
You
He was
probably
born.
bootleg that thing.
He was born 2013. But what I meant was just so that I don't have to like be online to show him videos.
Oh, I
If we
see. I
were-
see. So you
if
wouldn't
we
have
were-
to use Wi-Fi or anything.
If we were going out, you take the iPad as a babysitter for dinner, kind of thing.
I'm like, hey, we're all guilty of that. I still do it now.
Right. So that was the technique, just in case. Truth was, I was the one that wanted to watch the videos.
Oh, okay.
So that was my 2 cents contribution for, taking care of the baby during these days, to download the
Nice.
stuff, the music, the media. I was the designated DJ.
Oh. Anyway, I was
That's
so
it.
young watching that though. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was
Anyway,
it.
so how was your week? Besides that, how was your week? Or your week thus far? I mean, we haven't talked to each other, already seen each other in 2 days. So, anything new? What's going on? What'd you do the last couple of days?
I am hoping, anticipating, praying to God that I get better sleep the next few from here onwards. Actually, I get we got a Tin's old bed.
Right.
It's wood this time. It doesn't have like a hole in the middle that just slopes like that, and I don't get eaten by the mattress. So
your mattress sinks in like that?
Yeah, it used to. So from a 200 peso overnight motel, we're now at the level of a 3-star hotel, like
Nice.
2,500 peso per night kind of
Nice.
sleeping range. If we just get the pillows right, we'll be in a better spot.
That's my biggest qualm, actually. The
Pillows?
pillow. Yeah. So we're lucky enough that my mother-in-law, always, she likes to gift stuff to my wife, So she bought my wife and me basically a mattress. She bought us a mattress, because we had a mattress before, but it was old. We wanted to get a new mattress, but it's quite expensive, So mother-in-law decided to gift us a mattress. First of all, it's one of those hybrid memory foam and whatever mattress, whatever it is mixed with. I can't remember. It's a Sealy brand, whatever.
Okay.
But it is soft. I kid you not.
Like too soft, not good for you, soft?
No, like soft and firm at the same time. It's like a foam, you know. One of the big commercial selling point for this commercial is you can put a wine glass on one side and you can jump on the other side, and the glass doesn't spill.
I've seen those ads.
Okay, well, that's the bed that we got. Okay,
so it's good.
We actually tested that bad boy, and it's actual legit. I mean, you can like put a glass on one side, jump on the other side, and it doesn't bother the other side at all. Not even fun.
That's amazing if your wood frame or if the bed frame is actually solid itself. But
well, we actually don't have a bed frame.
Oh, you're on the floor?
No, we're on a box spring because it's such a high box spring. It's really high, you know, the box spring itself, and then the mattress itself is pretty thick.
Yun, basta solid. Pero
it's solid talaga. Oh, there's no questions about it. Tapos,
what material did we have before? What material did we have before for the bed? Sorry, Jason, go ahead. Alloy. We used to have an alloy frame.
Yeah, eventually those things will like bend down.
Yeah,
it sinks in because it doesn't cover the entire thing anyway. Yeah. I got you.
So now that's the solid bed frame. It looks more red.
We used to have a bed frame like that.
It's actually
we used
brown.
to have a bed frame like that, but we got rid of it because it's too heavy and too big.
Yeah. This one was huge. I lost my breath several times. I almost fainted trying to help the guys move because
it's heavy, right? It's like pure oak almost.
Yeah, this one's not. This one's like a puzzle. You could dismantle this one actually.
Correct. It's the same thing with ours. It looks actually pretty similar to our old one. It's like one of those puzzle connections and whatnot.
Right. So what were you saying about the bed frame? Your box bed frame, and then you were going to talk about
so
pillows?
We don't have a bed frame. We got rid of our bed. We got rid of it because it was too bulky. It was too big. We wanted to simplify things, basically, right? So the mattress is actually on top of a box spring, which is big enough, and it's high enough that it's really comfortable. But my biggest gripe are pillows.
Right. Yeah. Well, what about
because
that?
If I have the wrong kind of pillow, from my shoulder or my lower neck up to my higher neck, it's hurting. I'm hurting the whole day, basically.
Right.
It's insane. I have to use two separate pillows to lean on, and then I have to buy a special kind one. Not special kind, but it's pretty expensive. But it's stupid. It's so stupid expensive that for a pillow. But
don't look at your messages. I'm messaging Tan. Is she still in Bali? Sorry, I'm getting distracted.
Tan?
Yeah.
Or who are you talking about?
My cousin, Tan, Celeste.
Oh, yeah, Celeste. I don't know. I haven't talked to her in a while. So
I'll forward her I want to see what's going on with her. Sorry, I'm listening to your pillow story and you're griping about it. Don't get distracted by my message. That's what I was getting at, that I didn't realize the smallest things, like either the bed frame, the pillow, the side stand, the light, the night light, like these little tiny details in your room, my room. I guess as I get older, I'm having a little more appreciation for it, like when we still had the budget to be staying near my son's place. When we go there and visit him, we'd stay at a local hotel that was 1,000 pesos a night, right? I was pretty impressed by the bed, the toilet, etc., etc. But one night that we slept there, the socket for the laptop was on the wrong side of the room, and I was like, man,
that means you got to take and walk around a couple of steps. Are you kidding me? That's what you're complaining about?
I got to take the extension cord out or whatever. Just little tiny details because we were staying there almost every weekend or every week. Right. So, Friday night, and it just felt like our second home.
Right.
And if somebody moves the light, the power, because we got a cheaper room. So,
Mm.
so it's like the little tiny details that make you feel at home. Feel. That's what I was worried about. Kicking around the idea of maybe like traveling around with a motorcycle, like doing like an
Right.
adventure
Right.
video series or what is. I'm like, where are we gonna stay? Are they gonna have, are they gonna have soft pillows and a good bed frame?
You
So,
know what you know what's been helping me sleep lately? All right, this is gonna be pretty embarrassing. Okay, so my daughter, since she sleeps with us still, my wife plays these on Alexa or iTunes, those nighttime lullaby musics
mm,
for kids. Oh
mm,
my god! And
what?
now, every time it's on, I just sleep so calmly. It's not even. It's like the other day we were going to bed. Not the other day, but about a week ago. We haven't played it this whole week. Actually, maybe that's why I've been grumpy in the morning too,
Mm.
because I haven't listened to it. I'm like pretending like again we're gonna listen to this to go to sleep, but deep inside, as soon as I turn to my side, I'm like smiling, like oh, so relaxing, you know.
I'm opposite. I can't stand any kind of music or well, maybe except for a podcast. I'm such a hypocrite. But yeah, when my son was still a baby and he couldn't fall asleep with no noise, he needed some kind of
Right.
music. I was like, until what time do we need to play this?
You need to try sleeping with
I
with the
wanna.
spa relaxing music. Oh my god,
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's too distracting. I'd
do
rather
this.
listen to. I'd rather listen to like Jordan Peterson talking in a podcast or Joe Rogan.
Really,
I don't want to
really.
listen to music. So I'm like waiting for him to fall asleep and then I turn it off. And then when I'm on the podcast, I keep waking up like every other hour because like somebody's laughing. Like
You mean you play it loudly, or are you wearing headphones?
soft enough, sometimes headphones, whatever. But the thing is, the conversation is soothing until they start laughing and I wake up.
Right. And it doesn't bother Tin at all when you guys are when you're listening to it.
Oh, it depends. It depends. Like I'm just no, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Good save. Good save.
Doesn't no, I don't think so. She can sleep through anything.
I used to be able to sleep through anything. Well, now I can't. Although my wife, on the other hand, she'll sleep through anything, like whatever.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today, if you don't mind, I wanted to touch back on like how we were, I mean, both of us, you and I, have actually experienced this, okay? Because we both, in one way or the other, especially in your case, kind of had to adapt coming here and then living the life here.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So one thing I want to talk about, like maybe we should dive into, it's like growing up in a Filipino family or household in the Philippines and versus here in the US, basically.
Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah. Because here, there's so many things. Like when I first came here from the Philippines, it was so different. I'm so used to in the Philippines as a kid, waking up, going downstairs, running outside, and just seeing everything. Hanging out with friends. Oy, pare! Kumusta na? Or or the taho guy going down the street yelling taho, taho, or puto, puto, whatever, whatever vendors early in the morning, and then tricycles going through, zooming by.
You're talking about Project 6, right?
No, Second Avenue.
Okay.
The first day I came here, literally, it was a Saturday night. I'm sorry, a Friday night. The very next morning, I did the exact same thing. I kid you not. I woke up, I ran downstairs, I ran outside the door, and it's crickets. Nothing. I could not see anything because it was foggy as hell.
You're talking about Daily City.
In Daly City on Geller Boulevard.
Okay.
Remember Geller Boulevard?
Yeah.
I ran out hoping I could see other kids, maybe meet somebody, but no, it was freezing, it was foggy, and there was nobody around. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I turn around, I try to go back in, but you know how townhouses or doors are in the Philippines, in California before, where you walk out the door automatically shuts and locks behind you.
Okay.
So I couldn't get in. So I had to use the intercom to buzz myself in, but I didn't know how to use an intercom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
What are you doing?
I'm back in Takeshi's castle. Hold on. I wanted to show Gellert Boulevard to put some
Oh,
B-roll
Gellert.
to whatever it
Oh
is
my
that you're
God.
talking about.
You need to shrink it and keep it on the side. That's
Okay.
Geller Boulevard. I know exactly where that is. That's literally down the street from our house. That's down the street from your house.
Right. What I keep
That's
telling Tin
awesome.
here is how everything about our houses look cookie cutter the same inside,
Exactly.
and how all the
Exactly.
doors are just left side or right side, or everything's just sort of opposite or what.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
But
you
it,
weren't used to the silence, is that what you're saying?
well, no, I mean, I'm trying to. Yeah, it was just different, you know. You grew up there in the Philippines. Everything is so loud. Everything is loud, you know, from inside the house, outside. Here, it's not. It's completely opposite, you know.
Well,
And then I was so ignorant that I didn't know how to. When I was trying to get back into the house, I couldn't. I couldn't
mm,
figure out how to use the intercom. So
mm,
I press a button, and then my lola would answer at that time. She's like, "Anong ginagawa mo sa labas?
mm,
Aga-aga tumakbo ka sa labas." And then I explained to her, well, I wanted to meet other kids, but there's nobody around. I want to go back in, but the door's locked. How do I go back in?
mm,
And then
mm.
she was like, and then she's like, hindi kita marinig, hindi kita marinig. Apparently, I didn't know you're supposed to press the button when you're talking to somebody in the intercom.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I understand what you're getting at. Like these small little cultural details.
right. Right.
Yeah, there are actually, I can complain about it also, but the flip side of that, there are actually neighborhood. That's what I was going to say to you, that it really kind of depends on the subdivision or the place that you're living at. I mean,
Mhm.
that's why I was saying, if you were at the, did you say Quezon Ave, Quirino Ave, or
Who, me?
yeah, what place were you staying at? Why was it so noisy? Tricycles in
No,
front and
Second
everything.
Avenue. Second
Second
Avenue,
Avenue.
right by Camp Crame. Remember? You've been there.
Oh, no, no, no. I thought it was, what do you call that? Isn't it Project 6, Project 8, or something like that?
No, no, Project 8, that's where my mom lives.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
You drove by in front of my house in Quezon City.
That's the
Second
second
Avenue.
street, Second Avenue, right? Yeah, I
Yeah,
get
yeah, yeah.
confused because my cousin also used to live in Project 6 or Project 8. Anyway,
No.
in Cubao. Anyway, well, what I was saying about this exclusive, yeah, this exclusive village here is that they do pretty much the same thing. It depends on how big your neighborhood is and how exclusive your neighborhood is. It's pretty much the same aura
Mhm.
as it is there in Gellert Boulevard, as it is here on, stone's throw away from, the next subdivision. But
Right.
I mean, the streets are practically this size. They put their garbage outside like on designated days or whatever. But here on my neighborhood,
Right.
nothing. It's like we just hang the garbage out on the tree and hope that the garbage truck picks it up anytime within this month. So
Jesus.
so it depends
There's
on
no
what.
scheduled date?
No, meron. Every Wednesday.
Oh, meron daw. Just
You just don't know.
I just
Kasi hindi
personally,
siya yung
I'm
nagtatapon
not the
ng
one that throws the
basura.
garbage outside. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah.
I,
Hey,
I
this
was one of those guys.
look at this. I
Um,
just realized the Google Maps picture here. It's not foggy, it's not hazy, so you can actually see the bay across. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
What a rare
That's
photo.
rare. That's a rare photo of San Francisco, of Daly City.
Because usually when you see something like this, then it's just like white. You're
It's
just
just
looking
fog.
You're just
Mm.
looking out and like, ano kaya,
Meron dun.
what's the weather over there?
Mm.
It's just
Oh.
white.
Hindi
It's like a blanket of
Yeah.
ano,
to all
I
Filipino
remember
nakatira dyan?
a lot of
Filipino,
Asians.
yeah.
A lot of
Daly
Filipinos.
City is predominantly Filipinos.
Oh, kasi na news yan, yung mga bahay na ganyan.
Mm.
Oh.
Sobra na daw taas.
What do you mean sobrang taas? Mahal nung rent.
Mahal na yung rent, tumataas.
Oh, yeah. Merong bahay. There's a house there in one of those streets. My old friend's house. When they bought it, it was like $270,000, something like that.
Mm.
And then they sold it 2 years ago, over $1 million. Can you believe that?
Wow.
That's insane.
Yeah, no, the one that we were staying at, we were just renting.
Yeah. I was one of those guys, the Filipino kids, like straight fob talaga. You know that on that street on Gellert Boulevard, that's where the buses pass, remember? 21A, 21B, whatever.
Right.
I was actually one of those kids that was like, para. You know? Because there's no such thing as a bus stop in the Philippines.
That's
There
right.
is, but nobody uses it.
That's right.
You know?
The bus stops here is for suggestion only.
Right. No, here you can't just take the bus
This
anywhere here.
caught my
You have to
attention.
be in the bus stop.
Westboro Middle School. That's what I missed when I was back here, that there was actually a schedule. Like you could actually predict what time the bus is leaving.
Exactly. So you can schedule your rides accordingly.
Here, you're kind of just hoping that somebody passes.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So I wanted to show off the middle school there. But anyhow, yeah, what were you getting at about
I mean, you know how it is. Like, what I'm trying to get at is I wanted to really have a good conversation about family traits and like the difference about family households in the Philippines and here. The Filipinos here really, there's so many different kind of Filipino families when they come here. Some Filipino families really adapt to the whole American culture, and there's some that bring the entire culture here.
Right. Yeah, that's why I was looking at the short that you cut the other day about two kinds of Filipinas. One totally adapts to the Western culture, and the other one still.
I wanted to relate to that basically because in a way it kind of connects with each other, because it all depends on how the households are as well.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out, where does my family fit in regards to that into what category? We didn't have in the Philippines when we were living there. We did have the giant Filipino spoons. We did. My Lola and my Lolo actually gave it to my dad before they came here to the States. And then we also had the giant rosary, the giant wooden rosary. So the display was in the house it's the giant wooden rosary with the cross and then the spoon and fork on each side.
Standard.
Right. It was standard.
Let me show you this real quick. Just since we're walking down memory lane.
Right.
So I used to live in one of these houses in Callan, right? This is Callan Boulevard.
Right.
I don't know which. I think it's the third house. I think it's this one. So I used to live on that house, and then I'd cross the street and throw the baseball or the tennis ball on this wall right there.
What wall?
There's a wall here. There's like 3, 4, 5 foot drop from this.
Is that the Asian grocery store?
This is
hold on.
Classic. Yeah. Classic bowling
Classic
alley.
bowl.
Yeah, classic bowl.
Oh yeah, we've had discussions about that bowling alley.
That's where I used to get my my dose of secondhand smoke when I was.
Yeah. That's
13.
Manila Oriental. That's where I used to deal weed at that bowling alley.
Here?
Yeah, we've already talked about this.
Yeah. But I didn't realize it was this particular spot. So
yeah, that bowling alley.
I know exactly that wall you're talking about. Actually, it's right
Yeah.
next to the parking lot. You know,
Right. So
that's Manila Oriental.
somewhere in that wall, there's a drawing there that's square. I was the one that drew the square on that wall, so I could practice my pitch. I wanted to be a pitcher. I ended up being left fielder.
Nice.
That's my thing. Okay, let's go with the families. What other family habits do you have in mind? Bringing the family Filipino habits to the US?
Yeah. So we were actually the typical ones too, so we didn't have the wooden spoon and forks, but as soon as you walk in the front door, there's like a million pairs of shoes there. A million pairs of shoes, you know. There's there's a basket filled with slippers.
Is that Filipino or isn't that just Asian in general?
That's
don't
Korean. No?
Taking your
I really
shoes off.
don't know.
Korean, Japanese.
Yeah.
Actually,
pero
we learned that
Japan.
from Japan. We just followed
Did
that
we
from
really?
Japan. Yeah.
right. I didn't know that. But in our house, it was like as soon as you walk in, there's a million pieces of shoes and slippers and whatnot. And then you grab a pair of house slippers from the basket to use inside the house.
Mm.
You know,
Mm.
and then like for example, another Filipino trait that we have when there's a Filipino gathering. I remember this at my Lola's house. Why does everybody always gather in the kitchen? For the most part,
That's where
Or
the food is.
well, even if the food's not there, so there's a main dining area where all the foods are being displayed, and you grab your
Right.
food. But for some reason, everybody's still gathering around the kitchen. It's either there's the lolas, the titos, and the titas, and the cousins
Mm-mm.
in the kitchen just chit chatting, whatever. And then there's the uncles and the other cousins in the garage playing mahjong and drinking beer.
Mm-mm.
You know? So I'm like trying to figure out like, is that standard for most Filipinos or or was it just our household? You know what I mean?
Right.
For some
Yeah.
reason, it was like a Filipino when there's a gathering, and then also instead of having the chairs around the dining table, why are all the chairs always to the side? Do you know what I mean? They're not around the dining table, so you could sit around the dining table. Instead, they're lined up against the wall or the window, so
Right.
everybody can sit there. So instead of people eating by the table, they have to eat sitting on the chair, holding the plate, and you know.
Is it? Oh, because I guess you're talking about like an event or a buffet dinner where like all the foods on the dinner tables. We're not going to fit on the dinner table. Only the food's going to fit on the dinner table. So everybody just sit on the chair by the
that's
wall.
true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's just weird.
If that was
Anyway.
if that was an American gathering, it wouldn't
Everybody
be
would be around the table.
or it wouldn't be in the house. You guys would be in a park somewhere.
That's true. That's true.
Right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Back in the days too, like so my grandma was man, now all these memories are popping up in my head. Like growing up in California, you know? Like I remember on a Saturday, my lola and my lola would yell literally, Jason, gising na, magpunta tayo sa Target. We have to go to the farmer's market. I'm like, what? I'm going to get up. I'm going to get in the car with them. And I used to be the grandson that would hold the plastic bag or the bags while I followed them around farmer's market. You know? and they would actually barter with people and like buying their vegetables. She always went to the farmer's market because it's the only place where she could get certain like ampalaya or talbos ng kamote, I think is what it was. Yeah, something like that. Or a giant can When I say giant can, like a giant can of bagoong, and then she'll put it into smaller pint containers and then sell it.
Mm.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Bagoong. Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Jeez.
And then there's this one time where my lolo would after we go, and then when we get home, we have to prep everything that was bought. You take the chicken and you gotta take the chicken skin out. You gotta cut the vegetables separately already, then bag it and then put it in the fridge and whatnot. Man, back in the days, dude. I swear. Anywho, sorry, I'm like going down memory lane myself. I went off topic there.
Would you? I don't know if this is a good question to ask, but would you move back to the Philippines, or you've grown too many roots to stay there?
Here in the States?
Yeah.
I mean, I would definitely, but see, that's the thing that now I've always preached I want to move back home, but I'm a little afraid because Arya is so young. Will her opportunities be the same?
Let me
How are
ask
the
you.
schools in the Philippines? I don't know any of that stuff.
Let me ask you in terms of economy, violence, crime, that kind of thing.
Right.
I mean, like I also have a distorted view of what's going on over there, of course, because I only see what's in the news. But
right,
and it's just selected areas. But in general, would you still? It's still safer there, yeah. It's still better there, or there's still. Maybe what I'm getting at is the American dream for the Filipinos. Is the American dream in general still worth pursuing? Is it still, or I mean,
there's two different. When you're talking, I think I know what you're talking about. When you're talking about the Filipino dream, the whole American dream, and whatnot, there's two different meanings for that for Filipinos, I guess. One of the biggest meaning or reason is financial. There's always jobs out there. I mean, a Filipino will come here, will take a job at McDonald's and have a career out of it. You know what I mean? And it's a good career because you're still, no matter what, you're still making dollars as opposed to pesos.
Yeah.
But once you get your life going here, that's the difference, The conversion and the responsibility just overpowers everything. You got to work all the time.
What do you mean the conversion?
Like you start, yes, you are making dollars, but you're spending dollars.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For me specifically, we live in a house, just me and my family. We cannot be your typical, a lot of like what Filipinos do, where they live in one house with a lot of rooms and different family members in each room, or different family. Usually there's like 2 or 3 families sharing to rent that house, which allows them to save money. Do you know what I mean? It'd be nice if I could do that. But we don't know anybody enough that we would really want to live with comfortably that way.
Right. You need to be on your own.
Right. With the exception of maybe my mother-in-law. But besides that, I don't know anybody else I can do that with. That makes it harder. Ideally it'd be nice because it would save money, but it's hard, cohabitating with other families inside one roof over here. Now, for Filipinos, when they come here, a lot of them, if they don't have families, that's what they do. I know for a fact that one of my old friends, when she first got here, so she's single, but she was living with, I don't know, 6 other people in a 3-bedroom apartment or whatever. And they're all sharing the rent, which in that case would allow them to save money to send home and whatnot. I don't know. Would I move back home in the Philippines? Is it safer here than the Philippines? Depends where you are. I mean, right now, I wouldn't want to live in San Francisco considering what's going on there, or even in California for that matter.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it really depends on if you
Yeah.
look back when or where. Philippines probing 14-year-old student's death after alleged slap by teacher. What?
Yeah.
Where?
Parents and guardians watch as students gather inside a public school in Quezon City, Metro Manila. This was last year.
It's not yan last year. Ayan yung date, oh. Ito lang yan. October lang yan.
Wait, what's this? What?
October lang
Can
yan.
you? Okay. Something about this year. Ano tong August 22? This was the photo is last year. Hindi ko gets.
Yung
Did you read the
nangyari
article already?
Yung
Anong issue ngayon?
nangyari is sinampal ng teacher.
Sino?
Two guys from two worlds.
Recently?
This is the flip side.
Oh wow.
New
So malakas
episodes
yung
uploaded
pagsapa.
on
See,
YouTube
I know for a
every
fact that's
Wednesdays
not gonna happen
and
here. But if it does happen
Now,
here, all hell's gonna break
Your
loose.
hosts, Jay&Noel.
You know?
May mga
See, that's what I'm
picture kasi
afraid
ni
of. Like, so
Zero,
you're asking me, is it safer, right? For me, if it was me, if it was only me, Harry, Malaya, and AC, now that the Harry and Malaya are older, probably it will be easier to move home because they'll be able to adapt properly and whatnot.
Mm.
But as Arya's younger, do I want her to get accustomed to how things are over there in the Philippines or the ones over here? You know, that's the hard part.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
A lot of the foreigners that move here, I noticed that are having a lot harder time.
Right.
But and then when they get used to it, they're better off with it. But at first, what they're always acclimatized to is, you know, how the pacing. It's not a go all the
Right.
time. I mean, even if it is, I mean, of course, there are Filipinos here that are, you know, go always on time kind of thing. But in general,
Right.
you know, government offices, police officers, for example. I mean, not to say that they're
Right.
slow and they don't move, but you know, we have a little more like chilled, relaxed sort of atmosphere versus like,
Right.
hey, where are you going? You have a hall pass? You know, there's pluses and minuses for it, but you got, and so I get that phrase from Andrew. It's hurry up and wait. So you're always like, you know, in a rush, and then when you get there,
Hurry up and wait.
yeah. So you're always rushing, and then when you get there, you're waiting.
Oh.
So yeah, it's just a totally different sort of vibe to it. It's not better or worse. It's just different.
Hmm.
And at the end of it, my opinion, you know, the people that are able to adapt to being able to hurry up and wait and be a little more chill, you know, I think they appreciate it. And then at the same time, when they go back, I think to the States, they're like, okay, we're back on track. You know, we're
Right. It's tough though. I can't even imagine, you know. That's a big decision just to move
So-
over there to begin with.
if you notice the big foreigner vloggers that have moved here,
Right.
Commander Daot and Kulas, they're more of the chill kind. They're not like, hi, we're Americans and we're here ready to hang around in the Philippines and discover, you know, those are the ones that are a little more, let's say, sort of uptight. If you're like Kulas and Commander Daot, they're just like, how
They're
you
more
doing?
loose and like
They're-
go with the flow type of thing.
They're more
because they
chill.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Plus, if you notice, they're single, obviously.
it really depends on. I don't think though. They're both. No, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like, but Commander D has a wife and kid, but
Yeah.
he had them in the Philippines already.
when he moved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, when they first moved there, they were single. Is what I meant.
So you really gotta give it a couple of months, hang out here for a couple of months, and then decide. We can't like talk about this or decide on it on a podcast. You know,
Right.
you really have to come over, hang out a couple of times, leave, come again. You know, like trying on pants. You gotta.
Yeah, that's true. You know, one of the Filipino characteristics or traits or habits that's, you know, how in the Philippines on Sundays, families get dressed, go to church,
Mm,
you know, and then come back home or they go eat out or something,
mm,
right?
mm.
Here, it's rare. You know, I mean, for at least for Filipinos here, I don't see a lot of Filipinos taking the time to
The quality
like
time
like
together.
yeah, it's like not the whole sa Pilipinas kasi pag Sunday the whole family goes to
Mm,
church.
mm.
Here, you could barely get the kids awake to get dressed to go to church.
They're
You
taking the
know?
whole individualistic society to the next level.
Exactly, the whole cultural meaning for family, that's where it differs,
What about Virginia specifically, though? How is it Filipino wise different, or I mean, in general? In general,
Here, the way
how
I see it,
is it a province? Parang probinsya ba dyan? O ano bang, what's the vibe in Virginia?
and I mean it's the suburbs. I live in the suburbs.
Mm.
You've seen Wonder Years, right?
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Those kind of neighborhoods, the suburbs. I
Uh,
live in the suburbs. The big
uh,
city here is the main city that's close to us is Washington, D.C. or Alexandria, Virginia. They're both about 30, 40 miles away. I mean, 40 minutes away.
mm, mm,
Um,
mm,
I live in a neighborhood where it's the rows of houses, streets, kids running on the street and whatnot.
mm, mm,
Um, Filipino presence around my area,
mm.
sporadic. It's scarce actually because
Minority.
very, very. You know that Filipino store that I went to?
Mm,
That's I guess, the most Filipino looking place around here
mm, mm,
that I
mm,
know
mm.
of. There's Filipino restaurants here and there, but you can tell it's a Filipino place because of the restaurant. But besides that, anything outside of that, there's not a whole lot of actual presence, if that makes sense.
One of the things that I missed Daily City before, like one neighbor might be Chinese, the other neighbor might be Vietnamese, the
Right.
other neighbor might be from Thailand,
Right.
but yeah, majority is Pinoy, majority is Filipino, and then there are some
Sila nga yung nagrereklamo right now na
na
mataas ang kasi yung sahod nila eh.
mataas daw yung, yeah, and they're not working in IT, ganun ba yun?
Yeah.
Well, it's different talaga, Like I was really culture shocked when I first came here. Like I said, I didn't know how to operate an intercom. My lola had to yell at me, pindutin mo yung puting button, then magsalita ka.
What
I press the button, but I let it go instead of holding it down.
You know what you guys have there that we don't have much here? The ring cams.
Oh, so here it's
Yeah.
like different. They're not. I know there in the Philippines it's called CCTVs, right?
Yeah,
But when you say CCTVs,
it's
here,
it's up on the roof somewhere, or like on a
it
street light.
It literally means security camera.
Right.
But on the residential cameras, there's blink, there's ring, there's link. There's different ones,
But those
different brands.
specifically have all of them have like intercom. You could actually talk.
Correct.
Right.
Two-way audio
Right.
camera system.
So
where
here,
you can.
no such thing. You can't be talking to the CCTV up on the roof there. It's like it's supposed to be hidden. You can't even see it.
Oh, really? Yeah, no, here it's standard. Like I mean, you pay for it for per it's $3 a month per camera, subscription wise,
Yun, so it's those are one of the technological differences that we have.
Right. Like for example, this is my phone. You can actually see.
You can see what's going on. Yeah.
You can connect, like that's the front door, that's the baby's room, that's
Anywhere in the world.
downstairs, the driveway, that's the kitchen, that's the living room.
Send us a link to it. I want to see what's going on in your house.
No. No. I gotta have this because I started getting it when the kids were younger, basically, and then one became two, and then two became
What
the
about
entire house, basically.
cash? Are you guys still using cash a lot there?
Us specifically, not much, honestly. Cards or tap pay, Apple Pay or Google Pay.
Yeah.
Those aren't really big over there because you need Wi-Fi.
Have you been to any other Asian country?
I've been to Singapore, I've been to Hong Kong, but these were times when I was young. You know what I mean? I never
Yeah.
really I wouldn't
Just-
consider them as an experience.
Right, because we could rant and rave about, Filipino culture there and try to compare it, but like just even comparing Asian culture with each other, Filipinos,
It's
with
big
against the
difference.
Chinese, yeah,
Yeah.
Singaporean, yeah. Even the way they
Yeah.
do toilets is totally different from the way we do it.
Right. Right.
You
You
know,
know what? Speaking about different Asian cultures here, Dell, other Asian cultures are more recognized, or their presence are bigger. They're just bigger in so many ways than Filipino culture here.
yeah,
You
you
know?
mean like their identity, the way it's like,
Yeah. Parang yung mga Pilipino, parang hindi naman lahat. Okay, not
mm,
all of them here,
mm,
especially in different states besides California and Florida. Maybe
mm,
parang nahihiya pa. Minsan nahihiya pang
mm.
how do you say it?
My old mentor, Ben Cervantes, I think would, and I mean, I mention his name because I don't want to be credited for saying this, but he was explaining to me before that it's all because of the 300 years of Spanish colonization and American and all the other people that came over to colonize us.
Mm-hmm.
We never really had the chance to like stand up for ourselves and say, we've built this city on rock and roll. You know, it's not an inferiority complex. It was maybe more just, I don't know if I would go as far as an inferiority complex for our culture,
Right.
but it was explaining to me that that a lot of time that somebody comes over here and says that they're the boss and we're sort of second class citizens, that makes us able to adapt and move and help other countries out.
Is that a good thing?
But at the same time, it's a double-edged sword. It's a good thing because we're adaptable, but it's a bad thing in terms of like Filipino festival. Like, what are we
Right.
gonna do?
Right.
Like, take out the tinikling, let's go rock it.
Yeah.
But that's kind of just about it. But if you do like a Korean festival, for example, like
It's all out.
you smell the kimchi, you're gonna take your shoes off, kind of thing.
Right.
Parang, not to say that it's a bad thing. Like, okay, sorry, I'm all over the place here, but just case in point, we were talking about the movie the other day, the Casey Concepcion movie. After
Right.
that, Tin and I went over to the Carinderia and we still kept talking about it. Na yun nga, the whole Filipino thing just becomes sort of incidental. Parang we're trying to we're trying to put that Filipino-ness culture to it on the movie, and it becomes sort of so the story itself sort of gets washed down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
It doesn't end up looking like a representation of some kind of Philippine product or culture, if that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, because nga, we're focusing on the being Filipino, doing this Filipino movie in another country, versus we have the story. It just so happens to be done in this other country, and we just so happen to be Filipino. It should be like that's the hierarchy of of the story of the movie.
Mm.
But instead, it's misplaced. Like we put the Filipino culture first, and then the stories sort of comes second. So it becomes like a not so good movie because we're focusing on the culture and the fact that it's Filipino made. That's what makes it like like not a lot of people want to end up watching it.
Oh,
Does that make any sense?
a little bit. It needs to be explained better. I'm still a little lost on it.
Parang that's why we're weak on the festivals when it comes to festivals, Filipino festivals, maybe in another
Right.
country.
The representation.
Yeah, and so we try to do that Filipino culture thing on the movie, but the movie's supposed to be about the story and not about the culture or who made it.
And then it gets brought up or related to it being a Filipino movie or not. Now I see what you're saying. You know, does it make
Yeah.
I mean, like just like a good example, like so remember we had I think it was earlier this year where my wife, my family and I went to the Asian festival in DC.
Mm.
And then the Filipino representation was literally just that one booth. Wika. Remember? That was it. And then in the middle of the place, there was like a little presentation about somebody dancing to the cling. But that was pretty much it. But everywhere else around, you'll see every other culture. There's Japanese heavily represent. Even the Indian representation was a lot bigger than Filipino representation.
Mm.
You know,
It's
so
weird.
that's what it was. It was weird, but maybe Filipinos are still in their shell in regards to it. You know, maybe they don't want to offend anybody by being too
Mm.
hey, I'm Filipino,
I think-
whoa, type of thing.
Siguro a lot of it is also like we're more curious about other cultures than we
Other
are
culture.
about ourselves. Like,
Right.
we want to see a Japanese in kimono and we want to see like Indians in their attire. Like for us, we're just, it's a t-shirt and pants,
Yeah.
you know?
I can't remember. Somebody said that best. Somebody said it best. Filipinos are chameleons. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess in a good way. Or I like to think that we're just more curious.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Tsaka, like, we've been eating so much adobo. Like, we want to try the kimchi, we want to try something else. Hey, I hate to cut it off. I've been like hogging everything and it's 8 o'clock. I'm just anticipating the call coming in anytime soon. So let's start wrapping it up maybe.
Yeah. No, you're fine. You're fine. That's basically it for today, really. I mean, we didn't really get to talk about that one thing I wanted to talk about because we just went off topic of it.
Which one?
That whole difference about different culture and family household in the Philippines versus here and all that stuff.
Okay, let's talk about it on the next episode. Now that you bring it up, at least I have a little more time to think about it, do a little research. Let's try to sort of beef it up.
Yeah.
A little bit more. I mean, I think it's a good topic. We just need to spend a little more time to it. I'll go to the library.
When I say family and household culture, like different things that we do in the household, Filipino household in the Philippines and here, like an example, like I said earlier, was how your household looks, the habits that we do, the stereotypes, the traits, and all that stuff, the food that we eat.
I'll do some research, but the first thing that comes off the top of my head are like what the comedians are joking about. The tabo,
right?
The adobo, the accent.
Right? But it's true though. I mean,
the PNF English.
Well, that's the thing. So do most Filipinos do that when they're here or no? We'll talk about it in the next episode.
Yeah, something to look forward to.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. Episode 93, Down the Drain. Thank you for tuning in with us. We are not on TikTok live today because we got kicked out last week on the last episode.
Actually, we should plan out the next. What did you say? This is 93?
Yeah. Maybe
in episode 95. 96, 7, 8, 9, 10, like the last 5 episodes before 100. It should be like some kind of planning going on, some kind of recado going on, counting down to our 100th episode. Wow.
Exactly. Jesus Christ, 100 episodes, full episodes in 1 year.
Amazing that we haven't like slapped each other silly in the face yet.
Soon. Soon. Yeah, but we'll definitely do that. We'll keep you guys posted on what's going on. We'll try to get a little bit more organized too. So anyway, thank you very much for tuning in. Cutting it short. Appreciate everything. Please like, subscribe, share. Any help is greatly appreciated. Go to youtube.com at the FlipSide with Jay&Noel. Again, this is the FlipSide with Jay&Noel. My name is Jay.
Name's Noel, and you need to go to work.
Yeah, right. What? No, I don't.
Isn't it?
It's nighttime.
Oh, it's evening there. It's morning. Okay, I'm the one that needs to get in on a call. Okay.
Yeah. We'll catch you guys later.
So that's what you wore to work today?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, you're up, dressed, and ready to go. I'm like, I get confused.
I went to. Okay,
Oh
all
no, I
right.
get confused because the other night we were recording here at night. Oh yeah, we do it opposite now. I'm confused. Okay. All right.
Okay.
I have jet
All right,
lag.
guys. See you later. Bye bye.
On the flip side.
Two guys from two worlds. This is the flip side. New episodes uploaded on YouTube every Wednesdays and Saturdays. Now, your hosts, Jay&Noel.